into things and fall down. I thought it was pretty appropriate for doctors and medical professionals to see. All right, we'll move forward then. Sorry about that. Okay, in 2006, ONDD, Office of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs, was transferred from the Department of Health and Social Services into Department of Homeland Security and Public Safety. The decision was made to move that unit under the command of the state police. Since it'll be a statewide unit, state police have statewide authority. It was a good fit, and the makeup of the unit is going to be unique, and I'll explain that again, like I said, later on. Last year, there was a pretty good leap. When I told you I got assigned to the unit to supervise these investigators, it was the first time that a state trooper, a sworn state trooper, is going to be actively in this unit and supervising it. In 2011, July last year, 2011, the State Bill 155 was signed, and we changed the name of the unit to the Drug Diversion Unit, Delaware State Police Drug Diversion Unit. So when some of the medical professionals and pharmacists that we deal with still sometimes refer to us as ONDD, and that's understandable, and we certainly still answer questions. It's not a big deal, but we're changing the unit's name to Drug Diversion Unit, and that has officially been done. State police don't have office ofs, we have units. So the drug diversion unit, we specifically now just investigate drug diversion only, and that's why the name change took place. Currently, the drug diversion unit is housed out of Troop 2 in Glasgow. If everyone's familiar with the YMCA on Route 40 with the Glasgow Park across the street, the big silver building is Troop 2. Just to give a little bit of knowledge about the state police. The state police structure, each county has its own criminal investigative group. Detectives are housed at Troop 2 for Newcastle, Troop 3 for Kent, and Troop 4 for Sussex. That's done because there are some unique laws and processes that we go through for warrants, search warrants, or arrest warrants with the court system. So each county has a different court system. So that's why we broke down those criminal investigative units. Troop 2 is a very large troop. It has about a fifth of our division assigned to that building. It was very appropriate to have the drug diversion unit assigned in that building because it is going to be statewide, but it's unique that we report to Captain John Evans, who is the criminal investigative commanding officer, and we split up the manpower from that building. Currently, there are 8 investigators in this unit and 1 sergeant. Of those investigators, 7 of them are sworn officers. They have the arrest authority to do search warrants and arrest warrants for anybody in the state of Delaware, just like any police officer does or a state trooper does. One of the investigators is just an investigator. He does a lot of prep work for our cases, so when they get assigned, the investigator has pretty much a good idea of what's going on in a certain case. This unit's pretty unique in that when it was first designed, they wanted to put experienced investigators in this unit because you're going to have to learn about medical terminology and you got to do some pretty extensive research to make a case against somebody that's conducting themselves in drug diversion. So a lot of our investigators are retired police officers. Currently, we have a retired lieutenant colonel from the state police, 2 retired captains, a retired sergeant, a retired inspector from Wilmington PD, and a retired sergeant from Milford PD. And we have 2 investigators that just have very minimal law enforcement experience and just transferred into this unit well before I became the supervisor. It's a very unique workforce because these guys and women, men and women, have typically 30 to 37 years of law enforcement experience. A lot of them have a criminal investigative experience, which is a tremendous opportunity for Delaware State Police to have that kind of experience taking on these kinds of cases. These cases are not difficult. They're not going to be labor intensive like a shooting would be or a homicide would be, where it takes months and months and months to complete your investigation and prepare for trial. These investigations are pretty much done within a week. But this kind of experience really assists the state police because it can be done quickly, efficiently, and correctly. The types of investigations that the drug diversion unit investigates are listed here. What ONDD used to do was pretty much a regulatory agency under the Department of Health. They would go to pharmacies and say, you're supposed to have 2,000 units of OxyContin, you only have 1,500. Where's the other 500? And if they couldn't determine where it went, they'd say, kind of tighten up your counts and, keep an eye on your pills. I don't know if your staff's taking it or what's going on here, but that's pretty much what they did. Once in a while, you would have what I refer to like your soccer mom kind of a person that would alter a prescription from 120 pills to make the 2 into an 8, make it 180, and these investigators might come to your house. They don't do that again, or they might have a case and make an arrest. And it was very minimal penalties. Wasn't as expansive as it is today. Since ONDD came to the state police, it really became an investigative unit because the amount of arrests of persons that was taking place far outweighed the amount of investigations or pharmaceutical inspections that they were conducting. So that separation took place. Now, Dave Dryde, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him. His group, under the Department of Health and Social Services, still does the pharmacy regulations and inspections. But none of the members of this unit, now drug diversion unit, do that kind of investigation. They don't do any pharmaceutical inspections. We only do criminal investigations. Some of the cases that we do are forgery of prescriptions, serial drug diversion investigations, theft of prescription blanks, prescription alterations, doctor shopping, theft of pharmacy inventory, and we also assist Division of Professional Regulations. We help out ProRegs a lot, and we assist with the conventional drug unit, the Delaware State Police Conventional Drug Unit. That drug unit deals with the sales, whether it's an illicit drug, something that's manufactured illegally and possessed illegally like heroin, marijuana, cocaine. That's for our conventional drug unit. If there's a sales issue where someone's buying it or someone's selling it, that's for our conventional drug unit. You've all heard of undercover officers. They deal with those kinds of investigations. Only these investigations that you see up on this board is what the Delaware State Police Drug Diversion Unit investigates. We have quite a bit. Oh, what, are you joined by the other group now? Okay. How you doing, guys? All right. You can go back to the PowerPoint, too? Okay, the forgery of prescriptions, it's a felony for anyone to sign anyone else's name on a prescription. Anytime you sign anyone's name on any kind of document is a forgery, and that is a felony in the state of Delaware. And there's a second charge that we normally attach to that, and that's obtaining Schedule II narcotics by fraudulent means. And that is also a felony. So all the investigations that we normally conduct in a drug diversion unit are felonies. Sometimes we come across people that are, of course, wanted in our investigations, and they have other crimes that they're committing in association with, drug diversion, and we also do those arrests as well. Bless you. Serial drug diversion investigations I'll get into later when I talk about kingpins. Theft of prescription blanks, that was pretty popular, and now it's going to be even more popular with the secured prescription program. Just simply somebody seeing a doctor and he steps out of the room for a moment, or sometimes when a patient's left by themselves in an examination room, it gives an opportunity for someone to take the prescription blank or take a few off of it. That's probably a smarter idea. That way it won't be as noticeable, and just go ahead and fill it out yourself. You see your doctor sign prescriptions for antibiotics or whatever, you can pretty much duplicate that if you needed to, and they go ahead and get those prescriptions filled. That is also a felony. Doctor shopping, if you have someone that goes to a emergency room, and they normally will give pain medication in amounts for just a few days until that person can go see their primary doctor. They'll go to the ER and get a prescription. They'll go to their primary care physician and get a prescription. They'll go to a doc in a box and get a prescription. They'll go to a pain center and get a prescription. They'll go to an out-of-state hospital and get another prescription. They may use some themselves and sell the rest, which is very profitable. Theft of pharmacy inventory, we investigate that as